So you make plans, or at least you want to. This video is meant to guide you through the process of taking this set of kind of plans from a website and turning it into a more professional format. So, I'm going to move my head up there. This is the website that I offered to you to help you make your plans on the right. I'm going to go through step by step. First off, we have a title page with a picture. Very straightforward. Let's see. Simple chair with 2x4s. That's my title. Simple chair with 2x4s. Makes sense. You pick any title that explains what the object is. And then, if you built the chair, put a picture of the built chair. If you haven't, and you only have a model, click it, drag it in. Next, we have our working drawings. Now, here I've got an isometric view of the chair. I was very fortunate. I was able to just pull that from the website. Now, it isn't fully complete. It's missing a lot of measurements. But we're going to fix that with what we have later. But the idea here is to give them a pictorial view, a picture of what it will look like with some semblance of measurement. Orthographic views. So, I'm going to pull this out. Let's see, chair exploded, chair ortho, chair. There we go. So an orthographic view is going to be a front view and a side view of the chair. Just like that isometric view, it's going to have measurements. And this is all meant, all these working drawings are meant to give the viewer an idea of what they're going to construct. Now, I am going to just use this because I drew it, and I'm not copywriting, infringing when I do that. But here I now have it, and I may want to make this just large enough so that the viewer can see it okay. That's fine. Alright, so a cutting schedule and part list. Bill of materials. At this point, I'm going to go on the website and try to understand what do I need to buy in order to make this thing. So it says 2x4s, 10 feet long. So I said quantity 2. It's a 2x4, and it's made of a pine or fir. And the dimensions are going to be 2 inches by 4 inches by 10 feet. That's why I've got a little apostrophe there. We didn't talk about cost, so you don't need that here. Number 2, we have this filled out. I pull it right from the website. When you're starting to make plans and you already know the measurements of stuff, you can make a suggested shopping list, but here we're just using existing plans. Now, they didn't do the best job on this website because they start listing tools. Now, here, you could list tools. That's actually very helpful to identify what tools you need to use. But, in here, look at this. 2.5-inch screws. Those aren't tools. Those are materials because they get used by the project. If they are part of the project in the end, it's a material. So I put 2.5-inch screws, or 2.5-inch screws, same thing. 4-inch screws, wood glue, wood filler. This is my bill of materials. Next we have a cut list. And here is where we get a little more involved. They give us a 2x4 cut list. Now, I'm going to fill this out. So let's see, part A are the back legs. So I put A, back legs. Oh, quantity. It says 2 of these at a length of 37.25 inches. So I'm saying 2 back legs. The material is pine. It's whatever is in that list. If you're making something out of more than one type of wood, you'd want to say what type of material so they know which piece to pull it from. And then my dimensions are going to be 2 inches by 4 inches by 37.25. Notes? No notes. I'm going to continue this right now. Do it along with me. Part B. It's the back front boards. Quantity says 4. Material is pine, and the dimensions are 2 inches by 4 inches by, let's see, 10.5 inches. Great. No notes. Part C. It's the front legs. This is we're going to have 2 of these. They're They're pine, and they are 2 by 4 by 16.5 inches. Part D, sideboards. It says 2, so I put 2 of them. It's pine, and here it's 2 by 4 by 15 inches. E, we have let's call this back support. Plans aren't great. I'll get into that later. Just do 1 and we'll say it's pine, and it is 13.5 inches, but it's 2 by 4 by 13.5 inches. Great. I'm going to do E2. So as we get further into the document, you're going to see these angled pieces. And that's what they're talking about, kind of, with this E. They really did a bad job, and that's why it's good to make these plans so you can see these problems that come up in the future. So here it says, let's see, angled support. And we need 4 of these. They're made of pine, scrap, wood, and miter cut ends to 45 degrees to, let's see, connect front and back to sides. Okay, F is called the seat. We need 3 of these. They're pine, and it is 2 by 4 by 18.5 inches. And G, last one. G, side seat. We need 2 of them, and they are pine, and they're 2 by 4 by 17 inches. Alright, that's it for my cut list. Now what I need to do is put in pictures of individual parts with dimensions. Okay, so for the next part, let's see, we're right there. For the next part, zoom out. It says, insert pictures of individual parts with dimensions and notes if needed. This is our cutting schedule. You're basically making a shopping list before going to the store. So you draw a representative picture of the shape of your object that you're going to have to cut out. When I say object, I mean part. And how do I do this? I look at part A. And I say, okay, part A is 2 inches thick, 4 inches wide, 37.25 inches long. I need 2 of them. So I get on a piece of paper and I make a rectangle, because that's what it is. It's a rectangle. I would say it would be good to say 2 inches thick, but here it says times 2 because we are going to make 2 of these pieces. And then on this rectangle you see we've got these lines that show the measurements. It's 37.5 inches long and 4 inches wide. Part A is done. Part B, if I look at my list, part B is 2 by 4 by 10.5. So I'm going to do part B. I have 4 of them that I need, and it's 4 inches wide and 10.5 inches long. I continue this process all the way through. Now I'm going to point out one interesting one, part E2. There's 4 of them. Now here, I'm going to just zoom in real quick so you can see. It says must fit seat because there are no measurements. You just need to pay attention to the 45-degree angle. So here I draw the general shape of what it's going to be, and then I write the angle, and I just say it's got to fit. I'm making it out of scrap wood. I don't need measurements. Okay, next up is procedures. Now, procedures go in 2 different ways. Okay, first we have procedures to make these pieces. Then we have procedures for assembly. So, procedures to make these pieces. I'm gonna get fancy now. And you can do this too. If you just take one screen, you can copy the same document open in 2 different tabs. And now I'm going to keep this picture open, and I'm going to write a procedure. So for part B, oh, it's a 2x4. All I have to do is cross-cut to 10.5 inches. Part C, cross-cut to 16.5 inches. Part D, cross-cut to, I want to say 15 inches. I can look at my, let's see, part D, 15 inches. 16.5. Okay, cool. Part E, back support. So this is part E2. I'm going to just, there we go. E1 is going to be cross, So I'm just listing, so here you can see step 1, and then these are the different parts. You could do this in a different format, but the whole idea is that we want to have all the parts listed and all the steps for you to do in order to prepare this piece. Now, if I was making part F out of wood from our wood shop, I may say square plank. And then step 2 would be rip to 4-inch width. Step 3 would be cross-cut to, let's see, this is F, so 18.5 inches. That's what I'm doing for this section. I'm just going to leave G so I can continue. Assembly steps. Now, this can be kind of tricky. This is almost like a puzzle if you're not sure how you're going to assemble it. However, for this activity, they gave you assembly steps. So what are you going to do? You're going to read the paragraph and say, okay, what does it tell me to do? Okay, take 2 back legs, 3 of the front back boards. Assemble them as shown below, running between the legs. Okay, and, oh, 2.5-inch pocket screws. Okay, use 2.5-inch screws to connect part B3 to part A2. And I put the quantity in parentheses. Step 2, build the front legs. I drag the picture in because it's prepared for me. Okay. Screw together part B1 to front legs. Part C times 2. As shown in picture. Great. That's step 2. Step 3. Boom. Use the sideboards. Connect sideboards D to already assembled front and back pieces using, let's see, should be 16 boards. Using, let's see, 2.5-inch screws. The height of the side boards should be 16.5 inches from the floor. That way they know to measure 16.5 inches up. And you continue this process, and you just summarize how you construct this. That is it for setting up your document. This is what I expect your documents to have.